Hello, everybody. My name is Joshies, and we're going to be starting a new thing that we're doing called BeanCast for everything bean related. And so we're just going to be talking about all types of bean news and everything bean related, and it's going to be pretty interesting. So, the first thing I wanted to address was my partner here. Say hello.
Hello.
That's Alicia. She's going to be joining me in the BeanCast today. We'll have another joining us for a later episode. But let's just get straight into it. The signing of the trade agreement with Japan about the for the U.S. Dry Bean Association or Council. Sorry. I'm gonna quote the article here. It talks about it says the U.S. dry bean industry looks forward to new opportunities to grow market share in Japan with the announcement of an initial trade agreement that eliminates import duties. I don't know how to say that word. Most classes of U.S. dry beans it's BEANSAS. I don't know how to say that.
Bean's ass. Not really, though. It
So
does look like that, though.
yeah, it does.
Bean's ass.
Let me
Bean's
go.
ass.
Let me go ahead and screen share this this article. Um. So, the U.S. has maintained a steady, consistent market share in Japan, but the lack of a level playing field has limited export growth. Japan is a critical export destination for U.S. dry beans and has always held tremendous potential for market share growth. This could be the catalyst we need to solidify our partnerships with the Japanese buyers, diversify end uses for dry beans, and grow our market share in Japan, noted Rebecca Brader, executive director. Japan is the US's eighth largest dry bean export market, with total exports being just under 8,000 metric tons of beans annually, with the value of over 7.7 million in 2018. While this market has been growing slowly, the U.S. does not have a dominant share in this thick 60,000 metric ton dry bean import market. While the total amount of dry bean imports remains limited by a quota system, there is plenty of room for U.S. to grow market share within the quota once we gain professional market access in 2020. This is very welcoming, I'm assuming that's a typo, during what continues to be a tough few years for U.S. agriculture, according to USDBC, which is the United States Dry Bean Council. President Dion Masaho of Kelly Bean Company in Oaks, North Dakota, says U.S. dry bean growers and dealers have felt the impact of this challenging trade environment and are excited to celebrate the signing of a long-desired trade agreement with Japan that opens the door to increased exports in the long term. USDBC, U.S. Dry Bean Council, has already added a new program element in 2019. Don't laugh at my bean facts. Okay, this is above
So
you.
it's very serious.
These beans are worth more than your.
Listen, I'm still trying to figure out if it's that we're sending Japan beans or if Japan's sending us beans because,
It's a market
like,
share.
look here. Fukushima's in Japan and I'm not sure I want to eat Japanese beans.
Well, that is a
Just
factor.
saying.
Yeah, that is a
Had you
factor.
considered they could be potentially hazardous beans by the time we get them if they are coming from Japan?
Yeah, that is a concern, but
Hmm.
with the 56% drop because of the drought in Mexico of even gross income for Mexico, overall, the bean production down there is not going great because of the drought that's going on. It's been, I don't know how long since they've had a good year for beans. Probably back in 2018 was a good year for them. But I'm going to continue. Dry bean growers and dealers have felt the impact of this challenging trade environment and are excited to celebrate the signing of a long-desired trade agreement with Japan. Basically, it's a trade agreement. It means they send us beans, we send them money. So we need beans, and they need money. So it goes great. Classic bartering, but on a 60,000 metric ton scale, being worth over 7.7 million each metric ton. So, in all actuality, these bean trades are serious business. So, now that we've signed this trade, it opens up a lot of opportunities for bean sellers and factory workers and all that to have a better share in this career of selling beans and making bean products, because there's going to be a
Have you
lot more.
seen the bean chart?
No, I have not looked at the bean chart yet. I'm gonna have to search that
Well,
up.
listen, it's telling. You know, you got places like Durango and Chihuahua, Mexico, that have 140,000 metric tons of carryover still from 2017 and 2018 crops. So, what's the deal? Why are we so worried about not having beans come from Mexico when you got 140,000 metric tons of it from 2017 and 2018? These food stores we're talking about. So
We're talking about factories
we're
that buy out beans by the ton for making bean products for shelving.
well, they're looking at bean projections here. So you're talking about if we're still running off 2017, 2018 beans, then beans made in 2019 would be for 2020 and 2021,
Yeah,
right?
that's why it was that we're gonna get the beans somewhere in the January 1st of 2020.
Hmm. Yes, well, I'm still not sure I want Japanese beans. I mean, nothing against Japan except that it's, you know, where you go to grow a third eye or a extra arm.
Yeah, there is that. So that's the end of the article. But there is one more thing, a little short thing about the drought with the bean harvest back in September. Mexico bean harvest and production post big decreases. We have been reporting on the possibility of a diminished dry bean harvest in Mexico as a result of weather challenges. Look at those poor beans in that picture right there. Our August planting intentions report confirms that the extended drought in Mexico during the critical planting period resulted in an almost 50% decrease in bean planting surface, and a production drop of over 56%. 56% of all their bean production has dropped because of the drought.
That's ridiculous.
Imagine how much income they're losing. Over
I think it's strategic.
Over half of their beans are gone because of a drought.
I think it's a strategic thing, that we would be doing less business with Mexico just in general. I don't know what all our imports and exports are coming from that country, but I remember that in the early 2000s, we were doing a lot of business with Mexico and getting all sorts of products coming in from there. So
Yeah.
since Trump has been put in office, you know, our tension between that particular country and us has gone through the roof, and so I think it might be strategic. And it's, you know, long been known that we can make it rain, you know, wherever. So why have drought anywhere, really? And
What do you mean by that? We can make it rain.
well, listen, it was Lyndon B. Johnson that said, "Hey, you can control the weather, you can control the world." They've been making it rain uh, since World War II.
Hmm.
You know, you can make it rain. People have been making it rain. In there were aerosol injections of silver iodide and uh, I forget what all you can inject into the aerosol to make it rain, but they've been making it rain for a long time, and many notable people have said so. So I don't know why there would be such a drought for the poor bean uh, farmers there.
Well,
But you know,
I don't think.
growing
Here's my
growing beans
problem.
isn't hard, and for each person who feels like they may be uh, going to suffer from bean drought and not wanting to eat Japanese beans, maybe grow your own beans.
Hey, here's my
Hmm.
problem. The Mexican government doesn't care enough about their bean production because almost 36% of their income comes from beans, and the other percentage, about almost all the rest of it, comes from taxpayers. And the rest is just let's see, other stuff they produce, like,
Listen, I'm pretty sure I saw them dragging their mayor behind a truck the other day, so I'm thinking that they got bigger problems than beans.
I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, they kidnapped him and tied him up and drug him behind a truck
All I'm saying,
because he didn't make the country better right away.
all I'm saying is that they aren't. I think that they aren't paying enough attention to their bean production.
I think they should give those beans some thought, some attention.
Yeah, because 36% of their income halved is a big dent in their gross income.
What's going to happen to the farmers?
The farmers are that they're there because they make that much money, because the farmers are poor. Not all farmers, but the idea that farmers are poor is just bullschnoz, because farmers are are and people of agriculture in general, people that produce food for shipping out to a different country or selling in the mass quantities, they're some of the richest people. Agriculture is big business, and the bean farmers though, because the government isn't paying enough attention to their bean sales, and to make sure that they're steadily and consistently making beans and shipping them out to all the countries that want beans from Mexico. These bean farmers are living in bad conditions, especially because they're living in, like, they're farming beans all day. They're in bad conditions. It's hot out there. They don't have any. I doubt they have special equipment. It's just bean farming in the masses. So I have a friend down in Mexico. He says life is pretty, like, it's not dirt roads and freaking horses everywhere. It's like it's just common. It's just like it's just like America. It's just smaller, and there's brown people, and everything. And so, you know, I'm not saying that it's like olden times conditions. I'm saying that not enough they're not putting enough taxpayer money towards producing beans. But this is the
Are you
lowest they've.
saying that their government should send subsidies to the bean farmers because of the losses they're suffering from the drought?
Yes, I think.
Something similar to the way that farmers can insure their crops, or they have I forget what they're called, unions, not unions, co-ops. They have co-ops and things like that that help cover losses when they have
Yes.
like devastating floods, or
Yeah.
hail comes through and devastates a crop or something
So,
like
like,
that. They have
agriculture
subsidies.
insurance for
Yeah,
food
or
production.
government subsidies. So you're suggesting that the Mexican government should have a subsidy program such as the United States has.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm saying they should give more attention and money. That they should put more, because, like, that's 30%. That's 30% of all their income for Mexico as bean sale, and along with other agriculture. Agriculture is big business in Mexico and other states like that. I mean countries. Sorry, other countries like that. So this is gonna be where we're gonna leave off. It's information full, big. It's been a good episode of BeanCast. Um, like I said, we are going to have another person joining us sometime. Maybe we're going to have somebody else joining us the next time we record BeanCast. BeanCast is probably going to be like every other week or weekly. I'm not going to mainly focus this channel on BeanCast, but BeanCast is going to be something that I'd like to work on. Because it was just a random thought.
Canada's a big producer as well, too, so you could look at Canada.
Yeah. We're going to talk about some more Bean news the next time on BeanCast. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Go ahead and like and subscribe and leave a comment what you think down below. We love ratings. We love feedback. You like the video, you know what button to press. You didn't like it, go ahead and press that dislike button. We love ratings. We want to know what we're doing wrong. So just go ahead and make sure you share this with your friends. And we'll see you next time. I hope you have a good day. And see you next time on BeanCast.